Hello everyone, in this video we're going to see how to make a symbol table generation. So the basic aim would be write a program to scan the input program and generate a symbol table. We'll jump on to the algorithm, how it works, and then we'll go on to the program. So the algorithm is first is to get an expression as our input, and then separate each and every token, and if the token is id then create an entry in symbol table and enter the identifier name and its corresponding data type. Check the data type of each identifier and assign a corresponding memory location and check whether the identifier is having a value. If so, enter in that symbol table for that identifier, and if the token are already entered in the table, avoid repeated entry. So this is a sample input and this is going to be a sample output. So we are going to jump onto the program here. So here we have made a class systemsoftware2, and here we have made initialize some string current line and made it as static, and we have initialized two array. One is of string data type and static, and another as variable static, which we have initialized as null. So the next we have started the main function, and inside it we are going to read a new file variable, and given a location of the file which we have written here, sstest.txt. So using file reader fread, we are going to read that particular file. So after that we are going to use buffer reader bf, which would be equal to new buffer reader of fread, which we have created here. And while the current line is equal to that particular read bf, and it would read the line is not equal to null, it means that if that particular line which is reading is not empty, it's going to read and check if the current line contains int. Is the first case scenario. If the current line contains int, and if it does not contains the exclamation current line contains means does not contains the opening brackets, and if it does not contains the closing brackets, and if it does not contains a comma, semicolon, and it does not contains a dot. If all these stuffs does not is not a part of that particular line, in that line it going to carry out read variables. So what is read variables? We are going to jump to that part and check the read variables. So read variables is a function which we have made it. So we are going to split that particular line, in which line it is there, split it by using current line dot split according to the spaces available there, and record it at the array. And we're going to print out system.print the array 0, the first part. Okay, because we know the first part would be int, something like that. So once it has read int, so that particular part would be saved at the array 0. It's obviously the starting point would be int, so that would be stored here. So if the int l is 1 and l is lesser than array length and l plus plus, so here it would be given array l is equal to array l replace all commas would be replaced by spaces, and we are going to split it into spaces, and we are going to put it in variables. So whatever after int comes would be stored in variables, and similarly in the variables we are going to check if it's equal to, then we are going to split according to equal to. And again for that part, the values, to extract the values, we are going to include another for loop. In that place we are going to save all at variables. Here we can see, so variable I dot split is going to save at string s. And now we don't want to add the semicolons in our symbol table, so in order to do that we're going to replace the semicolon in space. I'm going to print a tab to give a gap, and we're going to replace all the unnecessary stuffs. I'm going to print out the line. So we are going to again jump back to from where we have came. So similarly, we are going to check whether if it's char and it does not contains opening bracket, closing brackets and all, it's going to read the function read variables. Similarly for other stuffs, here one it is if current line contains opening bracket and closing bracket, it means it it makes as a function. So to make, we're going to see how the read function is working. So this is the read function. So here the read function, we are going to split it. We are going to split the current line by space, and the limit we have given as 100 for extra security. We don't want to run out of that array. And here we are going to print out spaces and according to that, and the read function. So the first, we are going to print out the first position of the array and the second position of the array. We have initialized some variables in counter, float counter, char counter and double counter. So here string fin, we have made a new string of array length. So a size of array length of string we have made of fin. So here if int I equal to L, I is lesser than array length, is going to replace all the opening brackets as nothing. We're just going to remove the opening and brackets and all, and the commas we are going to remove. So here if the fin I contains int, it's going to int counter and system.print int comma whatever is there. If the fin contains float, it's going to increment the float counter and print out float comma. And similarly for char double, it's going to print out all the stuffs, and at the end of the time it would just check in total. So here int counter, float counter, char counter, double counter all would be taken into count, and it would print the number of arguments that are present here. So here the number of arguments, like number of parameters, would be 4 or by counting all the stuffs here. Similarly for int and all, we can see data type int would be here, giving space what are the IDs. Since we have splitted, we know we splitted by equal to. Wherever we saw equal to, one part has been recorded here, another part has been recorded here, and here when we have sorry, not equal to, when there's space between int and all the stuffs, int has been taken here and the remaining has been taken as a particular string like a equal to 10. And wherever equal to is there, we have separated the a at one side and the remaining at the other side. So a would be taken as id, the other part, the remaining initialized part, has been taken as initial value. Return type and all this stuff has been made here. So type of parameters, float, char, we just now saw it. So that's how it actually works. So this is how you're going to make this particular program and make a symbol table. So thank you for watching.